everyone. I'm Nida of Homeschooling Philippines. And for homeschool high school students, trying to accomplish everything that needs to be done in a day can be challenging, no? There's science experiments, art projects, or math problems to be solved, or Zoom meetings for Florante at Laura, no? And many others. Is productivity even possible? Well, yes, it is. So if you're feeling discouraged because your school days aren't productive and accomplishing tasks seems impossible, our guest will share a few tips you can try to get out of that fall. She was homeschooled since grade school, an honor student, an aspiring lawyer with a penchant for literature and arts. Her hobbies include speaking out about political issues and against social injustices. Over the years, she has learned a few things on how to be productive high school homeschooler. So for Teen Talk episode, let's welcome mga ka-homeschool, Miss Mandi Binay. Hi Mandy, how are you?
I'm great. My name is Mandi Binay, of course. Thank you for that great introduction. I'm an incoming grade 12 student for CFA, and there's a lot of things to think about in terms of productivity. For me personally, I'm someone who struggled with it a lot because, especially with our new setup, with this online setup and everything, it's really easy to feel overwhelmed.
Well,
So,
yes, you're not alone, no? A lot of high school homeschoolers would have that issues, no? But first, Mandy, let me say thank you for saying yes for this interview. I know you are on vacation mode, right? So what's keeping you busy nowadays?
keeping me busy, same things as always, my hobbies, literature, reading. I read a lot, and a lot of drawing. The I recently read Smaller and Smaller Circles, and it was such a great read. Actually, I think that a lot of people should start reading books because it really opens your mind and widens your perspective.
I agree. And I mentioned earlier that you were homeschooled since grade school. So what about your siblings? Were they homeschooled as well?
So I have four siblings. I have three sisters and one brother. My brother is 8. He just turned 8. He's homeschooled, incoming grade 3. My sister, Ate Jared, she's an incoming BLSU student. She was also homeschooled her entire life. And my second eldest sister, Ate Jam, she's a graduate from Ateneo, and she was homeschooled for her elementary life. And my oldest sister, she wasn't homeschooled at all.
So, four siblings and two parents, two teachers. Hats off to your parents, no? For homeschooling multi-level children. Grabe, meron ka pang grade 3, right?
I know it's crazy.
Okay. So, why did your family decided to homeschool you and your siblings?
My mom, because my mom, she used to work. She was working before, but then they discovered homeschooling, and they asked us if we wanted to try it because mom wanted to spend more time with us, spend more time in the house. And so she eventually quit her job and she decided to homeschool full time, and she hasn't stopped since.
Okay. And I read in the book that you co-author with other homeschooling teens now, Welcome to My Humble Homeschool, Secrets of Successful Homeschooling Teen. You said, let me just read it. Homeschooling has been one of the most pivotal parts of my life. It instilled in me the values that enable me to be the kind of student I am now, the kind that will not settle for less and is always trying to strive and achieve more.
I wrote that. Oh my gosh. Hats off to her.
So, what were your thoughts when you were writing this?
My thoughts when I was writing that piece was a lot of gratefulness. I was really channeling being thankful for the circumstances that I was given because homeschooling, that is, it can really be said that homeschooling has been one of the biggest parts of my life because it's really shaped me. And I will always be thankful for being homeschooled because I don't think I'd know the person I would be if I wasn't homeschooled. So I'm just grateful.
So when you started homeschooling, it was your parents' decision kasi maliit ka pa, no? But when you reached high school, did you decide that you will still continue on a homeschooling, or you wanna try to be in a regular school?
There were many times where I expressed wanting to try regular school and wanting and actually applying for other schools and such. But at the end of the day, especially with the pandemic and everything, at the end of the day, I still decided to homeschool because it's where I was happy, even though I was presented with many other opportunities to go out of it.
And I know that you decided to go to regular school or applied to regular school in senior high, right? So can you share about your experience on application? What was your reason?
Oh, so I applied to, I applied and got into Ateneo Senior High School. I got into their senior high program with general academics as a strand. And for before the pandemic, it was something that I prayed for genuinely every single day. It's something that I prayed for with all my heart. It's something that I wished for because it's something that I really wanted. Um, and when I ended up getting that opportunity, it was already the pandemic, the quarantine, and everything. And I realized that getting that opportunity, yes, I'm so grateful and I'm happy that that was presented to me. But I had to decide for myself that it wasn't the right time because it was just a lot of money on something that I was already doing. Because at Ateneo Senior High, they're entirely online as well. And and if I went to Ateneo, what would really change?
So it's the
Since as
same, no?
already
Same setup
yeah,
lang.
as already with CFA and everything, it's the same setup. So I had to let go of that opportunity. And even though it was painful for me, I decided that it was for the best. And in terms of admission and everything, it's very nerve wracking. It's it's very anxiety inducing. All those months of prayer and everything, it's very scary. But I think that all you need to remember is just trust yourself. Just trust yourself and give yourself time. And even if you don't get it, that's okay.
But did you prepared for the exam?
Yes, I did prepare for the exam a lot with my friends and everything. And of course, even in school itself, I was already trying my best to achieve a lot of good grades because that's a really important factor when applying.
Well, I have known you as a leader of the class, a responsible student, and you always submit a quality school project, no? So, what productivity tips can you share to your fellow high school homeschoolers, especially the new ones?
Oh my gosh, I have a lot. So, for the very first tip that I can give is concerning time management. Manage your time well. Google Calendar is your friend, and it's really important to keep a schedule because it helps you visualize your week and what you need to get done. So you have a clear view of your path. Because without it, it's easy to feel really overwhelmed and anxious. There's a lot of time in the day, so don't worry too much. When I
Well,
was applying
go
for
ahead.
senior when I was applying for senior high school, it was when I didn't have a schedule, it was so easy for me to fall into a lot of meltdowns because I'd worry so much that I'd get so little done and there was so little time in the day and things like that.
So especially the students coming from regular school, I mean, they will just follow the schedule given by the school or given by the teacher. But when you homeschool, you're saying that you need to take care of your time, of your calendar. So does it mean that you have to schedule everything?
So in terms of yun nga, my next step is goal management. So for goal management, um, for me, what I do kasi is I assign a schedule for myself within the day, and I set up a reward system for myself. So when I get things done, when I get tasks done, I reward myself for it. So it helps. So it helps motivate me really well, and my brain begins to associate getting tasks done with something really fun. And for me personally, you don't need to cram everything that you need to get done within one schedule. As I said, you have so much time in the day. There's really so much time in the day, and there's so much time in the week, especially with CFA's curriculum where you submit within the end of the week. You really have so much time. So just breathe. It'll be okay.
So what can you say to those students who likes cramming?
Oh my gosh, to all the master procrastinators out there, I feel you. So, okay. So for planning your day or schedule, master procrastinators, tackle your to do list by breaking big tasks into small, digestible pieces that you know you can do. You don't need to finish that PBA or project all in one go. You don't need to do all of your quizzes in one day. It's okay. And it's okay to take breaks. Um, you just have to do what you can and know your limit. You don't I think this is really important, but you don't need to be stressed to be productive. That's so important that I think a lot of people should learn.
So you mentioned that there's a reward system for you. So can you give us an example? Something fun.
So, okay, for example, um, I have to do an essay for that day. And what I'll do is I'm going to cut it into two parts: the draft portion, and finalizing the essay. So I'll do the draft in the morning, and then I'll do that for about 30 minutes, maybe an hour. And then I'm going to take a break and maybe play a game or read something or draw. Just a break for myself and setting aside time for my other hobbies that I like to do. And then after I'd resume the essay, and after I'd feel really great because I'd feel like had I did a lot of stuff, and um, I finished what I had to do without tiring myself out or feeling so exhausted.
Okay. And you also mentioned about breaking the bigger task into small tasks. So can you give us how you were able to adapt it? Let's say you have this project or you have this a list of projects to be submitted. So how did you do it?
Okay, I have a very great story for this. Um, so it was finals week, and we had so much things to do. And when I was looking at the entire schedule, I think I had over 6 PBAs due for that week and over 5 quizzes. And then the next week it was like finals, and it was really nerve wracking. So I took a step back a bit, and I realized that, all right, if I finish this, if I finish, for example, 2 PBAs within the first Monday, and then begin on the third PBA and then finish it the next day, then I'd already have about half of my PBAs for that week done. Or just cutting it down, like, for example, your research paper. That's a really big project. So what I do is I do one portion for every day of that week. So I do it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'd finish it on Thursday. So that's how I would cut down my really big tasks into small digestible pieces. Because for me, that's how I knew that I could get it done in the most efficient way possible.
Okay, so you mentioned time management and then goal management, and what else?
So, and obviously, taking a break. I think taking breaks is really important. Um, it's I think a lot of people tend to confuse laziness and taking breaks. I assure you, those are two very different things. It's very it's okay to take rest days, and just because you take a rest day, that doesn't make you any less productive. I promise you. Because the more pressure that you put on yourself, the more overwhelmed you'll feel and the less you'll get done. As someone who's very um as someone who's very sanay na dyan, it's getting overwhelmed and having a lot of anxiety. It can really stress you out, and it just puts you down further than um, help you better yourself.
But what if, let's say, they had a break, no, from doing their PBAs or their projects, and then they started playing game, they started scrolling on their social media, and then it's already midnight.
I am a victim of that indeed. Um I'm an I'm not sure if a lot of people know this, but I'm a very avid player of Call of Duty. Call of Duty Mobile to be exact. I play it all the time, and there were some days where I found myself forgetting my schedule and accidentally playing through the night.
I like the term accidentally. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
And to fix that, I actually included playing that game into my reward system.
Mhm.
And for my reward system, I'd play for maybe an hour, 2 hours, and then I have to stop because I like to set up a lot of alarms for myself, especially on my phone. I think a lot of phones have this feature where you can set um, time limits for your apps. And that was something that really helped me manage my time. And I I get a lot of anxiety when I'm not following my schedule to the T. This is very different for many other people. You can just use your schedule as a base guide, but for me, especially for breaks like that, I schedule it really meticulously so I don't go overboard.
How do you do your schedule, Mandy? I mean, do you do the hard things first, the hard projects, or you do the research first?
For me, um, I like to tackle the easiest ones first and then get started on the bigger projects that I always cut down. So I'll do half of the big project on this day and then I'll finish it the next day. So I don't get too overwhelmed.
So it's okay to take a rest, no, to have fun. However, you need to go back to where you have left so that you
Of
can
course.
continue whatever projects you have. Okay, so goal management, taking a break, and then time management. Any other productivity tips that you can share?
So for my last productivity tip is I think that a lot of people it's very underrated, but keeping a good and healthy sleep schedule. I can't stress enough how this helped me because it can really change your overall mood within the day. For me, I always used to say that, oh no, I'm a night owl. But when I changed my sleep schedule, I realized that not only was I feeling better, but I was getting more things done because when you have a healthy sleep schedule, it can help you feel better and more energized and connected more with the people around you and your environment, as opposed to feeling tired and exhausted because you're staying up all night. So for me, since that was my last tip, As an incoming grade 12 student, these tips have really helped me achieve my best in regards to productivity and academics. So I hope to all of the new homeschoolers out there, I hope that you got something from what I said. And I hope that it can be the same for you. I hope that it can help you too.
All right, and you also mentioned in your book, the one that you co-authored with other teens as well. Welcome to my humble homeschool: secrets of successful homeschooling teens. You mentioned here, and let me just read. It is not all sunshine and rainbows, and sometimes I feel a bit tired from the routine life one must take on when studying at home and all the loneliness that comes with it. Still, I do believe that the benefits outweigh those costs, and loneliness is natural because what would socializing mean without knowing it as well? So, any thoughts on that? Any additional tips that you can share?
For me, I it is easy to feel really lonely because of homeschooling. But when you close yourself off, it's easy to feel blinded. You forget that CFA is actually a really big community. You forget all of the people that surround you. You're really never alone. I'm, some people call me a social butterfly. And so for me, it was easy to feel, yes, it was easy to feel lonely. But I realized that when I was reaching out more to other people, I realized that homeschooling really isn't so lonely. You just have to open yourself up to new perspectives, and you just have to stay open minded to any new things or opportunities that can be presented to you, because you never know. Your classmate might be your new best friend or your new study buddy. And if it helps you, if it helps to study with a group, you can organize um, you can organize Zoom studies, Zoom study groups, and things like that. And really, with this day and age of technology, I really think that there's no way you can't be connected. You just have to be open to it.
And prior to pandemic, you also have some field trips, right? I mean, you also have some, you attend once a week class.
So for senior high, we have, and that as well, we have online classes twice a week. So you can really easily make a lot of friends, because I've noticed, it's an observation of mine, that people in CFA homeschool, they're very kind. I have yet to meet someone who's not friendly or sociable, maybe shy, but really, there's so many people that you can meet.
And I just recalled a project that you did. Was it Florante at Laura? It's a group project that you collaborated with your classmates, right? It was fun, right?
Yeah, it was great. And I feel like because of it, we really connected as a class. Oh my gosh, really. And group projects, your research partners will be your best friends. I promise you. Shout out to my research partners, Elise Suarez, Paul Cadiz, and JV Aranio. My goodness. Because we had research together, there was never a moment in my grade 11 life that I really felt lonely, because every morning, every class, hey, are you there in class already? Oh my gosh, have you done this PBA? Oh my gosh.
Okay, and what is your happiest memory being homeschooled?
Oh my gosh, there's just so many to choose from. But I think my happiest memory is completing our research. Completing our research, I think, is the most recent one that I can recall. because our tired faces and just the celebration and everything, just bonding over that celebratory moment, it's it's a really great feeling that I can't even begin to explain.
Okay, so I kept on showing this book. So, welcome to my humble homeschool, Secrets of Successful Homeschooling Teens. So, would you like to invite the parents to get a copy of this?
So I'm one of the co-authors for the book Miss Nida just mentioned. So I'd like to invite you guys to check the book out because a lot of people poured a lot of love into giving their all, their pieces, sharing their stories in that book. So it would mean a great lot to just check it out and see the different perspectives in the different perspectives for a lot of other homeschoolers because it's a different experience for everyone.
And when we talk about homeschooling, I mean, it's always the parents who would share their experiences, but this time it's the teens who are sharing their experiences, no? So it's their own thoughts, it's their feelings. So it's good that you check this book to know the teens' perspective. So thank you, Mandy, for your time. Na?
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a really great opportunity to be here and share my experience. So I hope I helped at least one student out there with what I said.
All right. Thank you once again, Mandy. So, how about you? What tips have helped make your homeschool more productive? Sure, you can share in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to get to know more homeschooling tips. Sabi nga ni Mr. Paul Meyer, productivity is never an accident. It is always the result of a commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused effort. So, thank you for watching, mga homeschool. Happy homeschooling. Thanks, Mandy.
Thank you so much.
All right. God bless. Bye bye.